Hey, sweeties, let's talk about BL power couples. You know, there are BL couples and then there are BL power couples. The ones who completely take over the industry, dominate trends, and have fans in a chokehold with everything they do. These pairs aren't just popular, they're on another level. From sold-out fan meets to record-breaking series, they've proven over and over again that their influence is unstoppable. Oh, and before we start, I'm finally done with my exams. Thank you all so much for the sweet messages and for waiting for me. I really appreciate it, and now I'm fully back. Now let's get into it. Today, I'm ranking 11 of the biggest BL power couples based on their impact, chemistry, and overall influence in the industry. And trust me, the top couple, they're on a whole different level. Let me know if you agree with my ranking or if you'd switch things up. All right, let's start with OffGun. And honestly, if we're talking about BL couples with staying power, these two are the blueprint. You can't talk about BL history without mentioning them. When it comes to acting, they deliver. Theory of Love was straight up pain, and they pulled it off so well. Then Not Me came along and showed a completely different side of them, and also all their other shows together. They've proven that whether it's angst, romance, or action, they can handle it. OffGun being last isn't even an insult. It's just that this list is stacked. If we were talking about longevity alone, they'd probably be way higher. But when we look at overall impact in the current BL scene, industry dominance, and how much they still trend, the newer couples have kind of taken over. They still have their solid fan base and their name carries weight. But compared to the insane levels of hype other pairs on this list are getting right now, they're just not at the very top anymore. Next up is TayNew at number 10. These two are still very much in the BL scene, but they're just not as hyped as some of the newer pairs. It's not that they don't have chemistry, because they do, but their fan base isn't as intense as it used to be. Their dynamic has always been that natural best friend type where they just feel comfortable with each other. Tay is always the playful one, while New is the calmer, more reserved one, and that balance makes them fun to watch. They've done multiple BLs together, and even recently, they're still getting projects. But let's be real, when people talk about the biggest BL pairs dominating right now, TayNew isn't the first name that comes up. Their fan base is loyal, but they're not constantly trending like some of the newer couples. That's why they're at number 10. Still relevant, still working together, but just not at the top of the game anymore. Now, PondPhuwin at number 9. This pairing has been consistent since 2021. They're not the loudest or the flashiest couple, but they've built a solid fan base that has stuck with them through every project. One thing about PondPhuwin, they're always booked. Ever since Fish Upon the Sky, they've had back-to-back projects, and it's clear that GMTV trusts them as a leading BL pair. But here's the thing. They're popular, no doubt, but they're not at the level where they completely dominate the BL scene. Their series always do well, but they don't break records or create the kind of viral moments that put a couple at the very top. They have a solid fan base and their projects get good engagement, but compared to the couples ranked higher, they haven't quite reached that unstoppable power couple status yet. That's why they're sitting at number 9, strong, consistent, and still growing, but not quite at the absolute top just yet. Okay, let's talk about EarthMix at number 8. And I know some people might think they should be higher because they've been together longer than most of the couples on this list, but here's the thing. Longevity doesn't always mean dominance. EarthMix has been a consistent pair since A Tale of Thousand Stars, which was a huge moment for them. They had real chemistry and acting skills to back it up. And since then, they've continued to get projects, showing different sides of their dynamic. The reason they're at number 8 and not higher is because, while they have a strong fan base, they're not the most commercially dominant pair. Their projects are well received, but they don't always trend on a massive scale like some of the higher ranked couples. So they're still relevant and still a strong pair, but they don't generate the same level of global hype as some of the couples above them. That's why they land here at number 8. Now, MaxNat at number 7, and what's crazy is that even though they're way newer than couples like OffGun and TayNew, they actually rank higher. Why? Because hype matters. MaxNat blew up fast. They didn't start out as a long-term BL pairing, but the second people saw them in Cutie Pie, it was over. Their chemistry, explosive. And unlike some pairs that take time to build a strong following, MaxNat's fan base went all in from the start. But the real reason they rank this high is because they didn't just stop at Cutie Pie. They kept the momentum going with Naughty Babe and even Two Worlds, and instead of just sticking to the typical BL formula, they brought something bolder. Their roles are often more mature, more intense, and that makes them stand out. They may not have the history that older pairs do, but they have the hype, the chemistry, and the projects to back it up. That's why they're sitting at number 7, newer but already making serious waves. All right, JoongDunk at number 6, and if we're talking about fast rising BL pairs, they're one of the biggest. Some couples take years to establish themselves, but JoongDunk, they became a top tier pair almost instantly. From Star in My Mind to Hidden Agenda and now the Heart Killers, they've been constantly booked, and not just for dramas. They're doing fan meets, endorsements, and tons of promotional work, proving that they're one of GMMTV's most valuable pairs right now. The way their fan base keeps growing shows just how strong their influence is, but why are they only at 6? It's because as big as they are, they still haven't hit that next level where they completely dominate the BL industry. They're huge, yes, but they're still in a phase where they need one defining moment, a project or event that truly cements them as one of the greats. They have the potential to climb even higher, but right now they're still in the process of proving their long-term staying power. Okay, so initially I was going to put FortPeat at number 5 and BossNoeul at number 4, but after really thinking about it, I'm switching them. BossNoeul goes to number 5 and FortPeat moves up to number 4. Let me explain why. Both of these pairs started in Love in the Air, and at first, BossNoeul had the stronger presence. Their chemistry was just on another level in that series, and they got way more hype than FortPeat. Right after Love in the Air, BossNoeul were everywhere. They had fan events, endorsements, and their fandom was one of the loudest. Meanwhile, FortPeat were good, but not as instantly iconic. Their pairing didn't spark the same level of obsession that BossNoeul did, so at that point, BossNoeul definitely felt like the stronger power couple, but then their second series happened. And that's where things flipped. BossNoeul got the boy next world, and while their chemistry was still there, the script just didn't give them enough to work with. They did their best, and honestly, they carried the show, but it didn't feel as impactful as it should have been. The story was all over the place, and it just didn't help them shine the way Love in the Air did. Now, FortPeat, on the other hand, they came back with Love Sea and absolutely killed it. Their chemistry was stronger, their acting was better, and the overall series had a more solid storyline. This was the moment where people started really paying attention to them as a serious BL pair, not just the other couple from Love in the Air. So yeah, I had to swap them. BossNoeul started stronger, but FortPeat proved themselves more with their second project. That's why BossNoeul lands at number 5 and FortPeat takes the number 4 spot. FirstKhaotung at number 3, yeah, that just makes sense. Ever since the eclipse, these two have been unstoppable. Their chemistry is effortless, nothing about them feels forced, and they just make every scene feel so real. But what really makes them a power couple is how versatile they are. One minute they're giving us the softest, most emotional romance, and the next they're throwing us into pure chaos like they did in Only Friends. Not every BL pair can switch things up like that and still make it work, but they do, and let's be honest. GMMTV knows they have gold with these two. They keep getting back-to-back projects, and fans can't get enough. They're easily one of the company's biggest new-gen pairs. That's why they're sitting at number 3. They're not just popular, they're proving over and over again that they can handle anything, and their rise isn't slowing down anytime soon. ZeeNuNew takes the second spot, and honestly, it's not even surprising. They haven't been around as long as some other couples, and technically, they've only had Cutie Pie together, yes, both seasons, but still one major project. So why are they this high? Because their impact was insane. From the moment Cutie Pie aired, their chemistry took over. It wasn't just good, it was addictive. Fans got completely hooked, and their popularity exploded overnight. But what really makes them stand out is what came after. They didn't need multiple series to prove their power. Their fan base is one of the strongest out there, and they've turned their brand into something much bigger than just a BL couple. And let's not forget, they put Damundi on the international map. Before them, Damundi wasn't dominating the BL industry like it is now. That's why they're number 2. One series, one pairing, but a level of influence that most couples take years to build. And at number 1, who else could it be if not YinWar? These two aren't just a power couple, they're a powerhouse. They're game changers. While most BL pairs work under big studios that handle everything from casting to promotions, YinWar decided to take full control of their careers. They walked away from their previous company and built their own YWPB house. This isn't just about acting together. They're literally running their own production. That's what makes them stand out. Their chemistry was already solid from Love Mechanics, but instead of waiting for the next big project to land in their laps, they created their own. And that's the thing. They're not just actors, they're the company. They don't have a massive corporation backing them up, setting up their projects or promoting them. They are their own bosses, calling every shot and making every decision. That alone makes them a power couple unlike any other. And then they hit us with Jack and Joker. A BL series they didn't just star in, they produced, funded, and controlled from start to finish. No waiting around for scripts, no hoping for good casting choices. They made it happen themselves. And let's not even start on the chemistry. From Love Mechanics to Jack and Joker, YinWar have proven over and over again that their connection isn't just for the camera. So why are they number 1? Because no other couple has done what they've done. They're building something bigger than just being actors. They're creating their own empire. They don't need a big company behind them. They are the company. It's not just power. That's legendary. And that's it, sweeties. 11 power couples who are running the BL industry in their own way. Some have been here for years, some are just getting started, but one thing's for sure, they all leaving their marks. Now it's your turn. Do you agree with the ranking? Would you switch things up? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's talk.